CRO is having a beautiful recovery right as expected, and we do have some rumors about the government shutdown ending soon. It's looking quite bullish again for CRO and all the other cryptos as well. But what's truly happening? Well guys, I would say let's strap in and let's find out. This video is sponsored by WolfSwap and their trading platform. Easily swap CRO to any other token directly on the Cronos chain. If you open up Reddit, YouTube or Twitter, there's a lot of doom and gloom regarding the crypto market on your timeline. And I believe it's mainly based on the 4-year cycle theory. As you see here on this chart, we're getting to the end of a typical 4-year cycle. And therefore, many people expected, especially altcoins, to be traded a lot higher than where they are now. But I also want to show you the other side of the coin, because I do believe it's still basically playing out as I personally expected. And that's based here on this overlay of 2021 for the CRO tokens. So here we do have the 2021 cycle in the yellow, and here the other one is of course 2025. And you can see that the overall move is very, very similar. Not exactly the same, but overall very similar. Have a move up, have a move down, have a new move up, little move down, and then of course a new move up. And there is a bit of a difference here due to that Trump news. And of course, guys, there are always differences. The same also as we do see a big difference here with this quick wick down all the way to 7 cents on some exchanges. But the overall picture is just pixel perfect. And now we completed that minus 30% drawdown according to the 2021 cycle. And after that, we do expect a bit of a recovery. And a recovery should mean soon we're back at about 20 cents or 17 cents, 18 cents, 20 cents. No, this is a very important range, right? So if we are stuck again at that range for some time, maybe a few weeks, that makes total sense. But still, it does expect, if we're going to follow the 2021 chart here, in December, we should be going towards that $1 level, but potentially even higher. So I think this is truly very exciting. And for anyone wondering where is this coming from, well, let's go back to 2021. It was over here. CRO from the bottom went up more than 200%, or about 150%, we should say, more than 2x. But then we had that minus 30% drawdown, minus 30%, or well, at least minus 26% here. And then it started with the recovery. And I do believe, guys, that a similar play is very normal. Same thing also for Bitcoin. If you open up this Bitcoin chart, you can see that often we have a big move to the downside here. Minus 25%. Also here, what do we have? Minus 30%. And what do we have recently? Also about minus 20%. So can we go lower? Yes, of course, guys, we can go lower for Bitcoin, for CRO. There is, of course, no certainty in this market. But we have seen the typical drawdowns. We have seen the typical touches of the 50-week here for Bitcoin. And also for CRO, we have seen the painful moments as well. So I do believe that we might get another leg up soon for the CRO token. And not just based here on this chart, but also based on some other fundamental facts. But let's talk about those after the quick words of today's sponsor. Did you guys know that WolfSwap started as an NFT marketplace, but well, it made a switch quite soon to also trading tokens because, well, NFTs aren't that hot anymore. Or, well, recently, it became a lot hotter here with the Wolfie NFTs by WolfSwap. 5,212 unique NFTs on the Cronos chain with also some exclusive perks. And now you can trade them on places like, for example, Ambitious Bay, Minted, but also recently on Crypto.com NFT, so right within the Crypto.com app as well. So really cool, guys. And that's not the only thing. They also still have Amplify and different contests. Check out WolfSwap right now in the link in the description down below. Anyways, let's talk a bit more about why fundamentally we might see one more leg up for cryptos like CRO. I want to start here by talking about the gold chart, because the gold chart is going absolutely parabolic, ladies and gentlemen. It is truly quite crazy. But what we do see is that typically these runs up for gold are caused by external events, like, for example, the government shutdown. But what we see recently is that now many advisors of the White House are telling that the government shutdown is likely to end sometimes this week. So probably there will be less fuel for gold to rise even further, guys, because truly this is a very abnormal parabolic run for an asset like gold. Gold is typically very stable, but now it is truly a flight to safety for many investors. What I shared on our Discord, and guys, link in the description down below, is also this picture I found of TradingView showing that when gold peaked in 2020 after the COVID crash, really, also Bitcoin started with a big swing to the upside. So some people are expecting also that now, if we see the government shutdown end, gold also to complete its peak and therefore Bitcoin to have also one more final run. And I think that's actually quite reasonable. Typically, guys, gold is a specific risk on asset, whereas cryptos like Bitcoin, also CRO, are typically very risk off. That's not the only thing though about the government shutdown, because fundamentally we're also waiting for a lot of different things. And I posted this today, and I think it's something that we need to discuss. So when the government shutdown ends, the SEC will go back to work, and the SEC will have a lot of work to do, guys, specifically for CRO. And let me talk about this. So the first thing what we'll need to get is the approval for the CRO strategy company. You might have heard the news, Trump Media CRO Strategy will be the company, the treasury company, that's going to buy a ton of Cronos, and actually also use loans to get even more CRO added to the treasury company. So great demand driver for CRO. That needs to be approved first by the SEC, because right now it's still called Yorkville Acquisition Corp, but we need to get the business combination approved. Then also though, we do have some ETFs coming. ETFs like, for example, the Rex Osprey CRO ETF, the Canary CRO ETF, and the Trump Media Blue Chip ETF. Those three ETFs here are still waiting for that approval by the SEC. And I think also those three ETFs can be a great driver, especially for institutional demand. So I do believe, guys, this is incredibly bullish for the CRO token. We're just waiting now for the SEC to go back to work. And I think that's a very important part, really, of where we are in the cycle and when we'll see some crazy moves up. Moreover, in about a week's time, we'll have the next FOMC meeting with Fed Chair Jerome Powell. And so far, there's a 99% chance of a 25 basis point rate cut, which is great also for risky assets like crypto. But also, it might get to the end, really, of quantitative tightening. It has already been discussed with a meeting by Fed Chair Jerome Powell when he was talking about the economic outlook. So it might be coming very soon, guys. And typically, when we see a big switch, really, from quantitative tightening to a more neutral stance, you sometimes see things like this happening. So when we had the big switch, really, from quantitative tightening into the more neutral, maybe even quantitative easing, we saw definitely changes from Bitcoin season into altcoin season. So maybe we also see the same thing once more. Well, I think it makes total sense as well. So guys, maybe soon. We'll see first. One final ready for Bitcoin dominance here, potentially looking at this zone here at about 60.4%, where we have seen more support and also more resistance. So maybe again, we might see some resistance over there, but then we might actually go into altcoin season. And yeah, we've been talking about this for a long time, but the overall setup, guys, is still looking quite good. So I'm honestly still hoping for this to truly play out. To me personally, all the macro signs are on green for that final leg up for a truly heated bull run also this time for altcoins. But of course, we have to wait and see. If anything happens regarding the government shutdown, I, of course, will make you up to date. So don't forget, guys, to make sure you're strapped in by subscribing and also hitting that like button. And if you want to see more CRO or Crypto.com videos, don't forget to also check out this video here to the right of me.